It all started on the third night of July, the night of my parents' 25th wedding anniversary. The day had been beautiful, with the summer sun glowing warmly over Mumbai. The heat lingered in the air, but there was a soft evening breeze that made everything feel perfect. 25 years of marriage is a big milestone, so my parents had planned a grand dinner at the Taj Mahal Palace, their favorite restaurant. It was a formal occasion, so obviously I had to put on my best kurta. It was 8:45 p.m. and I was adjusting my sleeves in front of the mirror when my phone buzzed. A message? That was unusual. I rarely got texts at this hour. It was from my mom. At first, it looked like gibberish, random letters and numbers jumbled together, but within the mess, I spotted one clear phrase. Please help me. My chest tightened. Something wasn't right. Without wasting a second, I replied, "Are you okay?" Immediately, another text popped up. Oops, pocket text. I let out a deep breath, shaking my head. Probably just a mistake. I went back to getting ready, but then another message came in, this time from my dad. Again, a random mix of numbers and letters, and within it, the exact same phrase. Please help me. A strange chill crept up my spine. My dad loved cracking jokes, so I almost dismissed it. But then another text followed. Oops, pocket text. I swallowed hard. Something felt off. And then my sister messaged me. The same words, the same broken text. This could not be a coincidence. Panic gripped me. I bolted out of my room and ran as fast as I could toward the restaurant. I had barely made it halfway when I was stopped by a police officer. Roads closed, he said. Massive accident. A truck lost control near the sea link. And in that moment, my world shattered. I didn't ask. I begged to see the crash site. To my shock, they let me through. But when I got there, I didn't see the crushed car or the smoke in the air. All I could see was them. My mother, my father, my sister, lying motionless on the ground. I choked out the words. When did they... The officer hesitated. Then softly he said, 8:44 p.m. Instant impact. 8:44. A minute before the first message. Music. I don't remember much of what happened after that. I think I was in a car. I remember the sound of metal crashing against metal, the sharp jolt, and then nothing. Now I'm here, in a place that beeps. I don't know where here is. I can feel a thin bedsheet covering me, hear the rhythmic sound of the monitor, but I can't open my eyes. People come in sometimes. They poke me with their fingers, other times with something sharp. A needle. I want to ask them, what happened to my eyes? But my voice doesn't work. Someone opened my eyelids once and flashed a light into them. It hurt, but at the same time it felt relieving, like stretching after being stiff for too long. Did you know if you don't open your eyes for a long time, your eyelids stick to them? I didn't, but now I do. I think my ma is here. She holds my hand, reads to me. She's halfway through the Mahabharata now. I wish I could tell her I've heard these stories before. Today, she cried. I wanted to hug her, tell her everything is okay, but my arms wouldn't move. Then some people came in. They told her she shouldn't be here, that she needed to leave. She shouted, "No, he's still here." I wanted to yell, "Of course I am." Where would I go? But she left. She came back later. She was still crying. Then suddenly she hit me. I don't know why. She hit me again and again. I wanted to say sorry. I wanted to tell her I'm here, but I couldn't. Finally, some men came and took her away. 2 of them stayed behind. They whispered among themselves. I barely caught one word. Coma. Number No, they were wrong. I wanted to scream. I wanted to shake them. I'm here. I can hear you. But I couldn't say anything. Then something sharp pricked me again. The beeping started slowing down. Beep, beep, beep. I felt so tired. I wanted to say, please don't make it stop. I wanted to tell my mom I'm here, that I don't want to die. But I never got the chance. Beep. Sirens filled the hot Delhi night air, red and blue lights flashing through the dark streets. I slowly opened my eyes. Everything was blurry. I was in a car. The windshield in front of me was cracked, my head pounding. I turned my head and saw her, unconscious, or worse. The memories crashed back into my mind. The sudden swerve, the sharp turn, the car smashing into the pillar of a flyover. But what had I tried to avoid? My mind drew a blank. Ambulances had already arrived, paramedics pulling her out and placing her onto a stretcher. I forced myself out of the car. My head throbbed, but somehow I was mostly unharmed. They rushed her to the ambulance. I climbed in after her, dizzy, ears ringing. The paramedics didn't seem to mind. Maybe they thought we were together. I wanted to say something, to tell her she would be okay, but all I could do was sit there and pray. I was in for the ride. Reaching the hospital unleashed a storm of motion. Nurses, doctors, stretchers, moving at lightning speed. Before I could even steady myself, they had already pulled her from the ambulance, rushing her through the swinging metal doors. I ran after them, my heart pounding harder than my feet against the cold, sterile tiles. She was being wheeled into a room to the left of the waiting area, surrounded by a team of medical professionals, their voices clipped and urgent. Then I saw it. From somewhere in the frantic blur, a nurse wheeled out an ominous device, a defibrillator. The doctor didn't waste a second. He barked orders, coated the paddles in Vaseline, and pressed the cold metal plates against her chest. Clear. A jolt. Nothing. Again. Nothing. For a third time, my breath caught in my throat. My stomach churned. My hands clenched. One last time. Then she gasped. Her body jerked to life, her chest heaving violently, and just like that, the weight of the entire world lifted from my shoulders. She was alive. I had tried to convince myself she would be, but deep down there was always that small, cruel voice whispering, "She's gone." But she wasn't. Her eyes flickered open, weak, exhausted, but open. She coughed, chest rising and falling in shaky rhythm. And then she saw me. For a moment, relief washed over me. But then something changed. The way she looked at me, it shattered me. It wasn't confusion, it wasn't exhaustion, it was something else. A single tear slipped down her cheek. And then the doctor turned, his expression unreadable, and walked right through me. I froze. The hospital room, the beeping machines, the chaotic voices, everything blurred. I tried to step forward, to reach for her, but something wasn't right. No one was looking at me. Not the nurses, not the doctors, not even her. It hit me all at once. I wasn't in the ambulance because I survived. I wasn't in the hospital because I was saved. I was here because I never left. And suddenly I understood. She wasn't looking at me. She was looking through me. She knew my love was gone. And now they may be gone, but their memory will never fade. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.